Draper 在硅谷是很出名的一个家族。Tim Draper 的爷爷创办了硅谷的第一家风险投资基金，而 Tim 呢已经是第3代的风险投资人。虽然头顶着家族的光环呢，Tim 本人也是一位独具慧眼的投资人。他成功投资了 Hotmail、Skype、Tesla 和百度等项目。
He is the risk master, lives fast, drives faster, skates on the edge of disaster. He is the risk master. That's the story of the entrepreneur.
德瑞普在美国风险投资界开创了许多个第一。他是第一个写歌唱歌的风险投资家，第一个在美国做风险投资广告，第一个到股票市场上市，第一个在世界各地开设分公司或子公司，第一个进行病毒式行销，而且是第一个投资中国的硅谷风险投资基金。
I was the first Silicon Valley venture capitalist in China. And by doing that, I could have gotten into everything. We backed a few of them, and those turned out to be Baidu and Focus Media and Kongjong and Yipei and some amazing companies that have made a big impact on China.
德瑞普创办的德丰杰基金管理着超过60亿美元的基金。1999年，德丰杰开始进入中国，投资了百度的第一笔融资，成为他在中国投资最经典的案例。
And I brought all my other investor buddies in as soon as Baidu went public. Before Baidu went public, they thought I was crazy. But when Baidu went public, there was this mad rush to go and invest in China. And so I feel that I led all my friends into China. Well, I love China. I love the Chinese. I love how dynamic and intelligent and driven and opportunistic and willing to do whatever it takes that the Chinese people are. And I've had a really wonderful experiences there.
Tim 引领了硅谷对中国最早的投资，他对于百度的投资回报是超过了50倍。那他最早对于中国的兴趣又来自于哪里呢？
Actually, my grandfather met Mao. My father met Deng Xiaoping. And my father brings this up to me every once in a while. I said, Dad, I just funded my 1,000th entrepreneur. And he looks at me and he goes, that's nothing. Deng Xiaoping freed 1 billion entrepreneurs. And now they're all out there doing great things, and you've done nothing compared to what he's done. Anyway, Deng Xiaoping...
Very high expectation for you.
Right. He had Deng Xiaoping came at the right time and did an extraordinary thing for your country, for China. He, I believe, by saying some of us will get rich first, and let's open the markets. He really opened China up in a big way.
德瑞普的爷爷开始做风险投资的时候是1959年，是美国西海岸第一个风险投资家，也是有限合伙制度的奠基者。他的父亲也创办了自己的投资公司，见证了硅谷从萌芽到成熟的过程，还出任过美国进出口银行主席和联合国开发计划署署长。爷爷和父亲当年与中国的渊源，在德瑞普的心里留下了深刻的印记。
他很年轻时候，他爸就带他到蒙古去，带他就到很多中国偏远地方去，那是游玩的性质。而后来，其实在他心目中就产生了一个场景，我一定要在这个有潜能的地方做些很多工作。后来他确实也就 follow 他的 mind， 就是他跟着他的心里边去做一件事呢，其实做得非常成功。就是这种用 venture 这种做 early stage 投资呢，投资中国非常成功。
It was about 30 years ago that I went to China for the first time. I was with my father, and we drove on the only paved road, in the only car, the only paved road to the only international hotel in all of Beijing. It was called the Friendship Hotel. The next time I went was about 10 or 15 years later. I saw a few with blue windows. And I thought, oh, that blue window salesman's going to make a fortune. And then I thought, oh boy, this is going to explode. The markets are going to open up here. This is going to be great. So then I met with the finance minister in China. And he said, well, what would you recommend? And I said, I would recommend that if anybody comes in and invests in your country, that they make as much money as they possibly can. They go back, they tell all their friends, and then they'll come out. And he was listening. And I then, about 5 years later, started to invest in China.
2016年底以来，中国大幅度收紧资本外流的管制，使得瑞普对中国的投资环境感到忧虑。
Now something's happened, and we have had to. We are no longer investing in China, and the reason is that the Chinese government has blocked money coming out. So I can't go to my investors and say, yeah, we've got to invest in Chinese companies. It's like saying, I'm going to throw your money into a black hole that never comes out. And it's not just the limitation on money leaving China, it's all the non-tariff barriers that are happening that are blocking my money from going in and out of China. And all of that control, I think, is going to work to the detriment of China, and I think this is an opportunity to open up China. I know, God, the same thing's happening in the U.S. In the U.S., Trump's talking about building a wall. I think that's a huge mistake. I think we are now an open world. By trying to put up barriers, you're going to just cut your own country off from the rest of the world. So this is a really important time. And if a big government gets it right, they're going to be a huge beneficiary of all the new technology, all the new money, all of the new entrepreneurs that will come to their country.
Do you see the money from the West, from your friends leaving China as well?
Well, I was the first one in, and I'm the first one out. And I think I have noticed the numbers starting to drop off in international investment into China, and I think that is the reason. If I know I can't get my money out of China, I'm not going to put any in.
So others are yet to follow.
Oh,
but
yeah, I think they're going to be
trend.
leaving. Oh, yeah, they're going to be leaving en masse if that doesn't get fixed right away.
中国创新科技的迅速发展和大批科创企业的兴起，已引起全球注目。西方媒体认为，中国正在成为美国之外的又一个科技创新中心。
The government, on the other hand, is trying to start this entrepreneurship movement in China, where innovation and entrepreneurship are becoming such buzzwords. What do you think about this mass entrepreneurship movement?
I think it's fantastic. I think it's already there. All throughout China, there's so many great entrepreneurs. I've seen so many great companies come out of there, great technologies. Some are even more advanced than what I've seen here in the Silicon Valley. And it's like a great renaissance. It's one of the great things that's happened in our world is the rise of China and all the great things that are happening. But if it gets closed off and isolated, then they're going to be missing out on whatever else is going on in the rest of the world. And I think that those entrepreneurs will be nice and provincial, but they won't be like global and powerful and exciting the way Alibaba is and the way Tencent is and the way Baidu is.
And we see that in China, they started with copying successful models from the West, but now with Tencent, Baidu, Alibaba, DJI, do you think that they have a chance to lead the innovation wave, or is it just commercialization of the leading technologies from the West?
No, I think the same thing happened in England. They used to say, oh, those people from the colonies, meaning the U.S., they're good at manufacturing, but they'll never invent anything new, and they're just copying or whatever. And then all of a sudden America became this innovation center of the world. I think the same thing could happen to China as long as the borders and the money flow all stays open.
德瑞普认为，中国在创新科技领域的崛起，意味着不光是中国会从美国吸取创意，而美国也会从中国吸取创意。这位顶尖的投资人如今已是年近花甲，但他对未来的创新科技仍充满信心和憧憬。下一节，我们继续聆听他怎样活在未来，还打算到另一个星球去旅行一趟。在爷爷和父亲的影响下，德瑞普在风险投资行业的浸润中成长。
So Tim, how was growing up in a family that's almost synonymous with West Coast venture capital industry?
Well, when I got started, I was the third generation venture capitalist. Neither of them were really in the business when I went and got started, but I guess I had it in my blood because venture capital is a big part of my life and has been. And I grew up here in the Silicon Valley. And the Silicon Valley was made up of apricot groves and plum trees and
very different
hills.
From now.
And yeah, it had none of this. But I watched as my father, mostly my father, funded companies, and these companies grew, and more jobs were created and more activity. And then this wonderful spirit of entrepreneurship that came, where it's this can-do spirit, like we can do something, and then we can keep improving on it and make our lives better. Same thing that's happening in China today.
德瑞普领导的德丰杰基金自1985年创办以来，一直专注于科创企业的投资。Hotmail、Skype、SolarCity、Tesla、Tumblr、Twitter、百度都是德瑞普投资过的招牌项目。
Tim 被形容是一个勇敢新世界这样的投资者。据说他寻找会飞的车很多年。他喜欢投资从零到一的大胆创新和有可能改变世界的项目，所以他钟情于早期投资。And you're always looking for crazy ideas, transformative ideas. But how do you differentiate? Because some crazy ideas will just stay being crazy ideas, and some will be turned into great ideas.
Well, the things I look for are the ideas that are crazy, but also have that little piece of this can become something that can transform an industry. If it's a crazy idea that can potentially change an industry, and particularly an industry where we're getting bad service at a high cost, those are usually industries that are